Do you like what we do here? I would assume so if you're listening to this. We have had a good year for growth this year. We've had substantial growth on all the podcast feeds with new subscribers. We have the new YouTube channel with a bunch of new subscribers there too. But we want to carry this over into 2026 so we can continue to provide high quality entertainment, high quality news, high quality reviews, and all that kind of stuff. So what we're asking for going into next year is, if you have the ability, we're not asking for a lot, you can donate. Go to ko-fi.com/MWP News and make a donation. Everything you do goes towards making sure we can do things. That way I can take days off work to go and cover things early, or, things of that nature. Go to events and talk about them early, see advanced screenings. All that stuff goes into that budget. On top of that, if you can't afford that, and I realize right now things are tough and things are rough out there. If you can't afford that, the easiest thing you can do is subscribe and rate. No matter what you use to get this podcast, you can subscribe. Just hit the follow button, hit subscribe, whatever the button is on your thing, and then rate us. Give us 5 stars. That'll help more people find us, and the more people find us, the more we can, the more we'll be able to do, and we'll be able to get more happening. You can also go to mwpnews.com and sign up for our newsletter. There we will have articles and stuff like that about what we cover on this show. And we will also be doing more gaming content on the YouTube channel. If we can get, with more subscribers on there, we can do more. And that's youtube.com/@MWPnews. And again, thank you for a great year for us. Next year will be better. One of the big issues that I had this year that preempted me from doing a lot of what I wanted to has been resolved with the issue with my car, and that issue has been resolved. So going into this next year, we should be a lot more smooth sailing, but we do need your help to get more people listening and get what we're doing here out there. So just subscribe, tell your friends, and if you have the ability to, and you have the money, and you want to, and you think we're doing a good job, and we've earned that, go to ko-fi.com/MWP News and throw us whatever you think we deserve. And thank you, and enjoy this episode. Good morning, and welcome to Exploring Hyperspace Lanes. I am Adam, and what we have today is the penultimate drop of episodes of Maul, episodes 7 and 8, because next week, on May the 4th, are the final 2 episodes. We're going to have a few episodes next week. Let's just get that out there. So, right now, I'm slated to go to, on Monday, the fan, May the 4th preview of The Mandalorian and Grogu. Now, the email says they're overbooked, and I'm leaving directly from work. That's a bit far. So, I have an entry pass, but I may not get in. If I get in, and I see the first, I think it's 25 minutes of The Mandalorian and Grogu, for certain, we'll be back here talking about that. And we will be giving a full, not a full breakdown of what happens, but just thoughts, opinions, all that stuff, on what's, what happened in the first 25 minutes of The Mandalorian and Grogu. Then we have the final episode of Maul, which is Monday night. We'll be talking about that. And then Josie comes back, and on Wednesday we'll be talking about it. So we'll have 3 episodes, possibly. Definitely 2, maybe 3 episodes of the show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Pretty packed. And I think that, like, again, love the art style of this show. I love the way it looks, the fact that you can see the fact that it's painted and you can see all the brush strokes and all of that. Especially like when they do a close-up on a character's face and you can see the background, you can see all the artistry that went into it. And I apologize for my voice. I'm still getting used to these fake teeth I have, because I lost a tooth and now I got this fake plastic one, and I have to relearn how to talk, kind of. But I love all of that. The artistry of the show is really something truly great. I don't know necessarily if I needed a backstory for Maul. And the reason for that is, I don't think necessarily that Maul should be anything more than this vengeful creature of what's it called, vengeful creature who's just trying to get revenge, a being of pure spite. And that's the thing, is that it's like, I don't need to know what it is. I don't need, like, understanding of why he is who he is. It's just, he's just a bad guy, and he just he's a bad guy who worked for a worse guy, and then the worse guy got what he wanted, and now he just wants revenge on the worse guy. And it's like, I don't need all of that layer to this. Like, I don't need to see that, like, as a child, like, Sidious tortured him or anything like that. Like, I would be interested in a Maul origin more than that. I would be very interested in, let's go back to how Sidious met him, let's go back to all of that. But I think that really comes down more to, like, I want a connective tissue show that tells us the early days of Sidious, Sidious's fall, or Sidious's recruitment by Plagueis, and then, like, his murder of Plagueis, and then the story of him recruiting Maul and leading into Phantom Menace. That would be more interesting to me. Because I think what it comes off as here is, like, trying to explain why Maul wants revenge. And I think it's pretty clear why Maul wants revenge. I don't really need to see, like, oh, he had a tortured childhood, oh, he had, all of this stuff. That's not really something that really adds a ton of depth to the character. Like, I think that, like, in this situation, it comes off weirder than, like, if it was part of, like, I think it's just the framing of it, where it's like, if it happened in a show about Sidious, and it was about Sidious, and Sidious is doing that, it's Sidious showing off his cruelty. That you have this kid, and you're just fucking torturing him constantly. And you're, he doesn't do something right, and instead of, like, coaching, you just fucking electrocute him. You basically, force electroshock therapy on him. And that's I think that's different there from in this case, where they're using it to make you more sympathetic to Maul. And that's kind of the weird thing too. The other weird thing about this is that, like, this fight that happens between Marek and what's his name? Marek, Maul, and I forgot the other guy's name, the guy who's got, like, not quite a Plague Doctor mask, but I really like his character design. Like, that fight that happens is really cool, and I really like the choreography, and that's one of the things that this show has done very well, is the choreography of the lightsaber fights, be it between I forgot the girl's name, and it's not Riley. Riley's the son of Lawson. Like, the fight choreography between them and Maul, or Master Daki and Maul, or Maul and like, all of the lightsaber choreography has been just top notch this entire show, and I think that's really been one of the real strengths of it. But we have to take into consideration the fact that we know where Maul ends up. We know Maul ends up in that Sith temple and escapes. And we know that's where, like, inevitably, like, this show is setting up that he's going to go to Crimson Dawn, and he's going to go and talk to, what's it called? He's going to go and talk to Dryden Voss, who is Paul Bettany in Solo, and he's going to go talk to him, and he wants to get revenge on Crimson Dawn, and then we know he ends up running Crimson Dawn. He ends up, being the person who Kira answers to, and that's kind of what this show is ending up doing. And then from there, he loses everything and ends up in that Sith temple. That, where Ahsoka fights Vader. And that's the thing, is that it's like, when you watch what this is, it's kind of a weird situation. Where it's like, we know where he ends, and then from there we know he ends up dead on Tatooine when he fights Obi-Wan. And that's what kind of creates this weird situation where it's like, there are really no stakes to this fight. Besides the fact that, like, when are these two going to die? Because these two are not in anything else, although I think the other guy might be, he looks familiar. But we know Marek ends up dead, but we just don't know where. But Marek ends up, dead. And it's like, when are they going to die? How are they going to die? And all of that. So, like, putting Maul in the situation where it's like, oh, he might die. It's like, I don't know if we necessarily needed to put him to a lowest point in this, because I think we kind of, like, go into this show with him at his lowest point. He's been betrayed by everyone. He's been, he's got this small group of Mandalorians who are still loyal to him because they think he's still the rightful king of Mandalore. Like, that's all they have. Like, I think that you don't need to, like, and the thing is too, it's like him losing that fight to Marek and the other one. Like, again, there's a lot of plot armor in this show that I really don't buy. Where it's like, when he pulls down the top of the cave on the three of them, and he pulls that down, and the entire thing just collapses, and he's left there. I don't buy that the two of them would just be like, well, he's probably dead. Let's not use the Force to see if, he's maybe under these rocks somewhere. And the thing is, too, it's like, when we see him, it's not like he's under, it's not like he's, like, buried under the rocks, or he's got to do some great, like, feat of Force strength to escape. He just kind of, like, brushes off the rocks. He's like, all right, I'm good now. Like, it's one of those weird things where it's like, you have these two who are here on orders from the Emperor to defeat Maul, kill Maul, and just kind of, like, make sure he's dead. Like, and he was like, well, he pulled the building down on top of him. He pulled the cave down on top of him. He's probably dead. Let's just leave. Like, that's a really weird choice for those two characters. You would think they would have, like, gone in and made sure he was dead, especially considering that, like, we're not dealing with people who are like, oh, well, we have to go into a caved-in cave and see what happened in here. That's dangerous. It's like, no, just use the Force and lift the shit. And it's like, okay, well, we lifted everything. Okay, well, there's Maul. All right, let's just, fucking stab him a few times just to make sure he's actually dead, and then bring him back. Like, why was that not plan A in this situation? Like it reminds me of early in the season when Maul comes face to face with Lawson, when he's breaking out, what's his name? When he's breaking out the little guy, and he's just like, all right, well, this is probably fine. Like, and just leaves Lawson alive. It's like, you went through, you mowed down all these other people, and you have no repercussion about any of that. You don't know who this guy is, or that he could potentially be useful to you in the future. I don't see that he would leave that man alive. And the fact that he does get left alive is kind of a problem. And look, I get that it is maybe hubris on his part. Maybe that's it. But it's like, I don't know. I think we need to articulate that in the plot. Just like when you're like, hey, you didn't kill that guy. Why? It's like, who the fuck is he? Does it matter? You know, what's the one guy gonna do? And that's something that, you know, would be an interesting thing, where it's like you have Maul who has this, like, what's one guy going to do when that's his entire thing. But again, I do enjoy the show. It looks really good, and it is enjoyable on a weekly basis. It comes out every Monday. The final 2 episodes come out next week, and we'll be talking about that then. Until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.